we could run the nation of the Philippines for the next 60, 70 years without going in the red.
You can't buy countries, Jonah.
So if it's, hey,
we've tried this before in history. It ends very badly.
No, we've tried invading and colonizing, but never a straight purchase. The Louisiana purchase went well.
Like Honduras, probably worth the purchase.
Mangoes,
I think it's a terrible idea in every way you look at it. First,
where's your sense of vision?
I'm spending money like I just got paid. $100 bills, tell them keep the change. Come on.
The wealth of the church is about 260 billion USD.
Yeah, pop a bottle, about to make it rain. Let me give you something now to celebrate. Come on.
It's not just regular imperialism, it's spiritual imperialism is what you're suggesting here.
And if you're wondering why I move the way I do, I just feel so good.
Dude, we be welcomed as heroes.
This video is going to get clipped terrifically. Let's buy the Vatican. That'll really make it fun.
I think world domination is the only answer.
I'm ready to eat my neighbors. This is the worst idea I've ever heard ever. Like of any ideas ever presented to me.
The following is an episode of WardRadio and does not represent the thoughts or the opinions of KHTS, its owners, or any of its affiliates, nor does it represent the official opinion of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. With that said, sit back, relax, and enjoy the program. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to WardRadio. I am your host, Cardinellis. Today I'm joined in the studio by Kwaku L and by Jonah Barnes, Associate Professor of all things apocryphal. And today we're talking about some really interesting service that's been going on in the Philippines that has led us to conclude with the recent wealth of the church potentially surpassing $1 trillion in 20 years. Is it just time to buy the Philippines? I'm reading the suggested topic here asking, is it time to buy the Philippines? And I assume that's the common thread of everything I see in the Discord. Jonah Barnes, why don't you tell us what's going on, my man?
Yes, it is time to buy the Philippines. If you like what you heard here, please subscribe for more. We're at WardRadio. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so so I was something popped up on YouTube. A thank you video from the Upskills Foundation. This woman who is full-time charity work in the Philippines posted this video. We only just need to watch like a snippet of it, but it's interesting. I thought this is what prompted the idea.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Jane Walker. I'm the founder and CEO of Upskills Plus Foundation. I would like to give you my most sincerest thanks for everybody at the Latter-day Saints in the Philippines before you view this video. You've come to our rescue twice now, once in December, where there were 119 families who lost all their belongings and their home. That affected just over 700 people. And you were able to provide gas stoves for them and food, cooking pots, hygiene kits for them, sleeping mats, pillows. It was just absolutely fantastic.
Okay,
yeah,
so they're doing all kinds of good stuff out there. All right.
So she goes on to say, and then we had another fire, and it affected thousands of people, and you came back again and helped us. And so we just want to say thank you. And, I was watching this video, and I thought, is it time we just bought the Philippines? Right? Is it time that we just didn't wholesale purchase the whole island chain? Because anyway, so that got my gears turning. I called Ed Thomas and I was like, Ed, what would it take to buy the Philippines?
Okay.
And we have broken down the finances here. We know that the church office building watches this show. Immediately.
That's a good question. Is like, would not, like, people are always criticizing what the church does with its wealth. Like, what if you could just, like, you know how in Inception when they wanted to go do the good thing, but they needed to go in that airline plane? So the rich guy just said, I just bought the entire airline.
I bought the airline, yeah.
I just bought the airline. Should we just go and just buy a country?
Kind of Bruce Wayne,
right?
Like, I bought the hotel.
Bruce Wayne, you know what I'm saying?
Just like the whole thing.
It's not just regular imperialism. It's spiritual imperialism is what you're suggesting here, right?
Well, I'm saying, they have some problems with crime. They're in a hurricane alley. They have earthquakes. They have all kinds of disasters. Look, we're doing the work anyways. Okay, we're like the guy at McDonald's who opens and works and closes and sweeps all the floors, and then some manager shows up and takes the profit. And it's like, we're doing all the work here. Okay, so I figure, what if
This is maybe a fiscal argument more than a moral one.
But hey, we have broken down here at Ward Radio. Our team of crack financiers and analysts have been working hard to determine what it would take to purchase the Philippines, and we think that we're already there. So what you're looking at here is kind of a short and dirty breakdown. So the wealth of the church is about 260 billion USD. Okay. Now that's growing rapidly, very rapidly. The budget, the entire federal budget for the Philippines, and this is I just want to is about 5.6 trillion pesos. Okay. So you convert that to USD, it's about $95 billion. Okay, $95 billion. We have 260 billion. So we could run the entire nation of the Philippines with no tax revenue coming in for 2 years and still have $65 billion left over to do kind of whatever we want. So now they bring in $91 billion.
Okay.
So they run a deficit of about $3 billion. Can you believe a country running a deficit? That is how shameful. How shameful.
Yeah, that's actually pretty, it's pretty bad.
I can't believe those people. But so that means that we could, having purchased the thing, we're down to $170 billion. We could run the nation of the Philippines for the next 60, 70 years without going in the red.
Well, especially because if your math is right, the president is real cheap. Kwaku, do you know how much the current U.S. president makes, my man? You know all this stuff. What's the
president's salary is $400,000.
Yeah, okay, you're right, $400K. I've heard that stat before. Guess what the president's salary is in the Philippines?
$86,000.
$86,000.
Now that is actually according to Ed found this. This is according to Glassdoor. If you would like to submit your application to be the president of the Philippines, you can check out the submit your resume to glassdoor.com.
I have never been in a podcast in which somebody advocated buying people.
No, the country.
Not the people.
The country.
It's not the people.
The economy and the whole.
It's not the people, it's the country. What's a country full of? Okay, so I'm just saying.
Mango plantations. This is an agricultural investment.
Mangoes.
I think it's a terrible idea in every way you look at it. First,
where's your sense of vision? No.
Yeah.
Well, look, I know nothing about the Philippines. I know nothing about Filipinos. But one, I do know that they all have Asian first names and Hispanic last names.
Little sus.
Like Cualping del Toro. You know, it's always like, oh, you must be Filipino.
That's a little sus.
I don't know where they are. I have no clue where it is.
You know where the Philippines are?
It's in the east. Right?
No, it depends on how you get there, but yeah, okay.
Is it near Australia?
Southeast Asia?
Sure.
Closer. Yeah, that's fair.
I don't know what they eat.
It's essentially the same country as Australia.
It's balut. You should try
Basically
some.
the
We'll
same.
go out to lunch. You already had sushi.
Are they the guys who make pho?
No.
No, that's Vietnamese.
Okay.
Yeah.
Third. They have pandas, right?
Of course.
No. That's China.
Oh, well, I don't really think
all those countries have pandas.
Well, first, I don't think pandas are real, but doesn't matter.
Guys,
I don't know. If we're to buy a country, I'd want us to buy like Canada.
Okay, but let me finish out my case here.
Finish out your case
so
here.
There's
for the
one more.
of the
there's another
Philippines.
image that shows the growth of Asiatic countries and compares the Philippines.
You can't buy countries, Jonah.
So if it's, hey,
we've tried this before in history. It ends very badly.
No, we've tried invading and colonizing, but never a straight purchase. The Louisiana purchase went well.
Okay, first, okay, wait, pause.
Seward's Folly.
How do you think they're going to react when the president of the Philippines says, "Oh yeah, the country's been sold"? They're going to go, "What do you mean?" And we try to come in. All right, we're the new bosses. Boom, boom, boom. It's immediately
we're not
a war.
taking out guns. They're Mormon niceness culture bureaucrats.
No, they're going to shoot at us.
We bake them cookies, not with the cookies and the casseroles.
They're going to say you're the people who fixed my house after the fire. They're going to say you guys gave us the.
They're going to say you're the ones who just tore down a neighborhood to build a giant shopping center. That's the thing they say.
Well, according to this lady,
I don't think she's advocating us buying Filipinos.
That's the message I got.
What did they say about the war in Iraq? We'll be welcomed as heroes. Yeah, well, according to this lady right here, we're going to be welcomed as heroes.
Yeah.
She has a "can I speak to your manager" haircut.
Yeah.
Okay, that's mean. She actually seems like a sweet lady. I'm just saying, like, You can't buy countries. It doesn't go well, generally speaking.
Quaku has no vision here. He's uncreative. People don't listen to him. All right.
Yeah.
We have another image in the Discord that shows the growth of countries relative, and the Philippines would be an excellent investment. That's the Glassdoor.
Yeah, this is
salary estimates on PayScale.
Yeah, Quaku, even though you're not going along with Jonah's idea, there is a salary that awaits you of approximately $180K to $6.2 million per year.
I have no interest in even going to the Philippines, let alone running it.
If it's going to be our new fiefdom, spiritual fiefdom, can we spell it with a PH like Philippines instead of an F? It's a fiefdom, but a Philippine.
Dude, we be welcomed as heroes.
This video is going to get clipped terrifically, and you guys are going to be called literal colonized. You've doomed yourselves.
I'm not saying I'm buying it. I'm saying the church that's already there, growing gangbusters, and doing like, we could do it.
What's that entail? Buying a country?
Well,
buying the government, buying the house. You're buying people.
First of all, we need to redo the Capitol building. Okay, so we have here. We're already
is that
in
a
plans
Christus
for this. Okay?
statue in front of?
Yeah. So we're going to need new tour guides to help tour people around the federal capital of the Philippines, and we have the perfect team to do it. That's what it takes to run a country. We also would have to redo some of the statues here because they've got some murderous dictators up. So we'd put Jesus Christ up, and then of course we are going to need a Kneaders really close by. So you put a Kneaders there, and I think it would fit perfectly. Look at it; it looks gorgeous. This is what awaits. This is what awaits, Quaku. If you would get a little creative for once.
This is the worst idea I've ever heard ever. Like, of any ideas ever presented to me in my life, this is the worst thing I've ever heard.
Well, okay.
Like, we're just trying to be fiscally responsible, Quaku.
So here's a counterpoint, Quaku. The Daily Mail thinks we're going to be hitting $2 trillion in wealth soon here. We actually have an article, $1 trillion in wealth in 20 years. What are we going to do with all that money? Besides purchasing whole countries, Quaku? Huh?
Yeah.
So the Catholics tried to do something like this.
Really?
Yeah. Well, back then, you got to remember, the UK bought India, but Indians weren't.
They did? They bought India?
Okay, well here
I thought they invaded it.
The Catholics have a stellar
It's
record.
called an invasion after. Do you understand? Like when we bought this country, and the people go, I didn't vote on this. Well, now we're your authorities, and they go, authority this, and they start shooting, and that's how civil wars break out. It's a terrible thing. Now, India, by the way, this is how messed up it is when you try to buy countries. India wasn't even called India. You know that? It was called Bharat. It's called Bharat.
That's a pretty cool name.
We called it India because we passed the Indus Valley, and the Brits were like, oh, this must be India, and we called it India. And then when Freemason Christopher Columbus came to America and tried to find India, he couldn't. He started calling the natives Indians. So the natives are named Indians after people that were called Indians when they weren't supposed to be called Indians. They're two incorrectly named removed.
So wait, is there a different Christopher Columbus? Is there like the Freemason Christopher
Cristobal
Columbus?
Colon is his real name.
And then a different Christopher Columbus? Because you were that was like one name. You're like Freemason Christopher Columbus.
Oh yeah, Freemason occultist Christopher Columbus who worshipped the devil. Look it up.
Okay, so here's the real question. The impetus...
Cristobal Colon is his real name. He has the Freemasonic name of Venus Columba because he performed human sacrifices and prayed to a pagan god. What were you saying, Carden?
Yes, we're saying,
don't do TikTok,
could
kids.
the Mormon Church be worth $1 trillion in 20 years? New report claims it has amassed bigger, quote, rainy day fund than Google and Microsoft as it prepares for the second coming. Now, all joking of purchasing entire GDPs at a time, does not your soul sleep better at night knowing that the church has amassed a bigger rainy day fund than Google and Microsoft, than Bill Gates and ABC in preparation of the second coming instead of in preparation for the, bigger AI or the next jibby jabby? Like, don't you feel good knowing that, hey, the church is sporting nearly $1 trillion in 20 years of money that we at least just know about.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's also kind of like the rich man eye of the needle. I'm also kind of like, I hope that doesn't apply to us.
Which is why we need to start purchasing countries wholesale. Right? I think you make a great case, Kwaku. Kwaku L here endorsing the wholesale purchase of the
Yeah.
Philippines.
No.
I think world
Thank you,
domination is the only answer.
There's some countries. There's some countries we could like Honduras. Probably worth the purchase.
All right, let's check it out. Honduras.
It's like conquering countries economically is
look,
wrong.
you gotta remember.
But Honduras.
We've sold them on Honduras.
Remember, like a decade and a half ago, the president of Honduras just went missing, and no one did anything about it. So, like some of those countries, it's like they'd probably be happy if we came in. You know.
All right. Okay. So anything else to add? Jonah, you've presented your thesis and the evidence to back up your thesis.
Actually, you know what? I think Honduras is a great idea. You know,
really?
Honduras
Well, just tell us really fast before we
It's
end.
looking like a much cheaper investment. First of all, we could cut our teeth on Honduras. Okay, you're welcome for that imagery.
It's close to Panama. We could take over the canal.
Ooh, think of the power we'd wield.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty good.
You know,
guys,
all right.
I like this. We're stirring the pot, getting the ideas going.
We could prove whether
Okay.
President Benson was right in this capitalism versus socialism arguments and books that he wrote in the 80s.
Yeah.
You know what
we
I'm
don't,
saying?
we don't have capitalism, America. We
have crony
we have a little bit
capitalism.
of both. We have
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
But in the
okay.
Discord, so we want to see the guys in the Discord make your case for which country you think that the
Ireland.
Church of Jesus Christ should purchase.
That's true. Great baptismal records by the Catholics in Ireland for a long time. We
Let's
could
buy
get
the
some-
Vatican. That'll really make it fun. Let's buy the Catholic Church.
That could be the one thing we can't afford.
Oh, that'd be so fun. You know what we should do? We should like go to some massive holy site and just buy it and just like build a temple on top and piss everybody off. Like you know like Dome of the Rock,
I
everyone's
get
fighting
what you're
over
getting
like
at.
what if we just buy like the
Dude,
temple
have you
mount?
heard, this is a different podcast for a different day, but we will scratch the surface of it. Have you heard that they've been doing the archaeological calculations, and as people have really, this has actually been a conversation that's been going on for about 60 or 70 years, as computer projected models of archaeology into the past have gotten slightly better. But a lot of people think that the actual Holy of Holies and the sacred spot of the original tabernacle and where the Ark of the Covenant would have rested and so on and so forth in Jerusalem was actually not at the spot of the Dome of the Rock, but just barely north at the other holy site that is actually open to the public still. That's called the area of like I can't remember the name of it, but that a lot of people have wondered, does the Dome of the Rock have to get destroyed in order for the temple to be built, which would obviously unleash religious Armageddon and so on and so forth. And people have said, actually, no, that first off, there's a couple of things that scripture does not say that some people think it does. For example, it doesn't say that the temple does indeed have to house the Ark of the Covenant. The second temple that was built did not have the Ark of the Covenant in it because the Ark of the Covenant had already been taken away and had been hidden at that point. So the presence of the Ark of the Covenant isn't necessary for a temple to be built, you know, and then also they actually think that the Holy of Holies, the actual sacred spot of where the Ark would have been and where that sacred spot would be is actually just slightly north of the Dome of the Rock. Therefore, it could be a possibility if the political compromise were to be reached.
Sounds like we can buy it at a discount right now.
You know, and
hey,
yeah. So
this is a great idea.
We should actually just put all that money into making the MTC both a religious and physical training ground. All the missionaries should be jacked and know how to do hand-to-hand combat. And
I've always said a Mormon paramilitary organization. That's when I know the prophet that starts the Mormon paramilitary organization is truly inspired.
I'd be all in favor of that because then all like the Utah kids, the ones who aren't righteous and are like drinking and having sex and smoking and stuff, send them to the Mormon military.
Wow.
Yeah, almost as a punitive
Everybody
thing.
gets to serve.
You know
Everybody gets to serve. But then it makes the missionaries like who preach the gospel the nerds. It's like, oh, you're preaching the gospel, nerd. I'm here getting jacked to protect Saratoga Springs.
So I love how Kwaku went from absolutely loathing the idea of purchasing entire countries in pseudo-imperialism to all of a sudden suggesting them and then going one step further to say, we also need a paramilitary group full of jacked religious zealots.
Look, these carpet-bagging Baptists are coming to the West in droves, and they need to know who's boss.
They need to know who's boss.
They need to know that their little Hillsong music is no match for the drums of war when we begin beating them in the Uinta Mountains.
The Tongan Mormon army. See, I think the church is saving its money for when the entire global economy collapses, and then it'll be able to just buy it.
I'm just letting everyone know. I'm ready to eat my neighbors.
Yeah.
I'll eat my neighbors.
I was going to say, so the title of this podcast has now been is it time to buy the Philippines to it is time to buy the Philippines and Honduras and create a jacked religious zealot paramilitary group.
We should buy the ocean.
Yeah, we should just buy the entire ocean. All right. Let us know what you guys think in the comments below for this and more. As always, please make sure that you
Fill it with a
check
bunch
us out.
of Jello.
Check us out at WardRadio.
Just feel so good, good.